Which part of the world are you in, Shankar?
I am in Los Angeles. I stay in LA.
Ah,
Yeah, I
okay, okay.
stay in a city called Long Beach. Yeah, it's all the way in the south.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Super. So
What
I'm
about
based,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm in Bangalore, India, and Ashish is also in India, right?
Awesome.
He's in Kerala. So we are what, some 600 kilometers apart, Ashish and I, and you just happen to be the other side of the hemisphere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you visit India frequently?
Last time I visited was a few months ago. Yeah, I stayed over with my family over there. I stayed in Pampati with my dad. He has my mom, my grandma lives over there. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice,
I kind of go like every 3 years, every 2 years. I want to
nice,
go more, but it's been kind of that right now.
nice, nice, nice. So, Ashish, I mean, Ashish and I go a long way, right? We've known each other for a few years now, right?
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, yeah. So, and he did forward me a few of your videos, right? and I went through the repertoire, the whatever, the videos that you had there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
really interesting stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Ashish, shall we?
Yeah.
Shankar is Ravi Menon's nephew.
Ah,
So that's how, and I was checking with him, are there any other people in your family who is passionate about it? I mean, of course, his sisters and, they are all very fond of music. In conversations, he's talking about how, how he got interested in music because his mom used to listen to radio while she's working in kitchen.
wow.
Many stories. I mean, Ravi Chetan is full of stories. Everyone in
Oh,
Kerala.
absolutely. I think
Yeah.
he is the originator of film music journalism in Kerala, right?
That's crazy. I'm so it's crazy because I learned more about his history as I got older because I didn't know he was in it so deep until I started
He is.
growing up and taking music so seriously. I started to see like how much of an impact he has.
Oh
It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and I've been through quite a few of his articles. And he's a. I mean, his articles are quite popular, right? And has I mean have appeared in you know some great magazines, right? Magazines of repute, right?
Yeah.
Some literary magazines, and yeah, I mean he's I can say he's quite well followed, right? I mean,
Right.
the first
So
time, interestingly, I've heard of him was when my dad mentioned his name. I think maybe a decade and a half back, right? He
Okay.
said, "Look, if you want to know about a different genre of journalism, why don't you read Ravi Menon?" You know.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So that's when I came across, film music journalism, right? If I may call that, I don't know. I mean, whether he would, buy that description. That I do
Right.
not.
Yeah.
I do not know.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
so we can call film music historian or chronologist or
Yeah,
in that.
Yeah. Right. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So coming back to in fact, I should introduce Ritwik. In fact, how we became friends was like one fine. It was a daytime, yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for traveling to Kerala, and there was something called Blah Blah. Blah Blah is an app where you find people who are traveling from city to city, like Bangalore to Cochin, Bangalore to Thrissur. So you can blah blah and travel. So
That's cool.
You can hitch a ride with those folks, right?
yeah, and it was
Oh, really?
amazing.
That's what it
Yeah,
is. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And this is like certified, so you're sure of the person's background and all, right?
Right.
This is safe.
Oh, cool. You got a profile and all that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's confirmed with government documents and all, right? So yeah, you wouldn't be taken for a ride while you hitch a
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely can trust. Yeah, yeah. A lot of apps, it's hard to do that. So it's good that they have that trust system.
Yeah.
We had a lot of topics to discuss about, and I don't know, we still continue. Whenever we catch up on, it's like at least 1.5 to 2 hours of conversation.
Yeah. We still blah blah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Right.
Right.
So maybe we'll quickly jump to. He's a very well-read person. He has been watching, English classics. He has deep knowledge on many aspects. So I've been trying to get some information all this while when we talk once in a while. So I thought he'll be the right person to talk about music because
Very high expectations you have set. I'm quite
Yeah, that's
sure.
always hard.
Yeah.
maybe I'll open it with this Sanity Menon. That's his YouTube channel name. So maybe I'll just put a spark as in how you came up with that name. So I thought maybe that is the name. Then I found that okay, Sankar Menon is there.
Yeah. I did Sanity first. So I started doing Sanity because I was doing a lot of poetry and like rap. So that's like the Western like music that I'm over here doing. So it's like a really good like just poetry on beats, and I was just making a lot of music with my friends.
Separately, now like a flower is withering, like a river is moving with the current. Now could I say it was worth it? Everything has a purpose, nobody is perfect. Still a student, forever learning. Enjoy the journey, not the destination. So if we meet again, don't you ever be forgetting this.
I just realized like my roots are very powerful, and I wanted to put that in there. So I've been running that for about 2 years now, and yeah, that's where I got the name. Sanity. I've always just been calm with my music. A lot of my music has been very just calm. And I've always had this kind of spiritual essence to myself. So I wanted to kind of combine two worlds together.
Wow. That's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Really cool. So I remember this. Okay. I mean, way back when I was young, right? A friend of mine and I were playing rock, right? Of which
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of, right? So I've been playing rock, and this is maybe early 90s, right? My father just happened to pass by the room, right? And he stopped by the door and he said, "Why you listen to all that ruckus?" Right? Then my friend, he took a moment to think, and he said, "Uncle, when you're young and you're angry and you don't know what you're angry with,
Yeah.
you listen to rock." Right?
Yeah.
And that seemed to satisfy. That seemed to be to have answered his question satisfactorily, right? He said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, in that case, listen on," right? And then yeah. So yeah. I mean, it was interesting, So okay, what drew you into this genre, right? Of hip hop, rap? I don't know. These terms are interchangeably used, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what drew you into that genre?
I like growing up over here, I listened to a lot of it just because like back in the day, like my cousin used to bump a lot of it. I was staying like she was like my family member, almost my sister Vidya. She was bumping a lot of the just popular music at the time, and I really just got captivated just because of the storytelling aspect, the poetry of it. It it took me to go deep into the roots of the genre to kind of understand that there's a lot more power than what you're probably hearing in the popular media. You know, you kind of, I think with any genre of music, and once you start digging into it and you deeply get into it, you can kind of see that there's a lot more meaning into the music, and especially just seeing how a lot of people treated it when it comes to just like, oh, it's just, you know, people just talking about guns and violence and whatever the case, but it the more you dig into it, you kind of see it's a representation of their environment, and it's just a poetic expression of their environment and what they're going through, you know. And it kind of opened a light to kind of see that, like, I don't need to judge a poor man or a rich man, you know. Everybody has a story to tell, you know. And honestly, the genre itself is an African genre, you know. I come to understand that the more I deeply
singing.
You know, yeah, of course. And there's so many roots
Talking
to
blues.
it, even past it. Yeah, exactly. Even past the blues aspect, it's like there's a lot more, you know, substance to it. And I started with it just because it felt like it was a genre that like really had open arms to me. I didn't really realize I was doing it until like
Really?
I put it into picture. Yeah, I was writing, and I was just writing to express myself. I didn't really like, I knew it was rap, but I also kind of was just like, I just want to express myself, you know, especially during my really younger days, like high school. That was like the time I was starting to make hip hop. And I didn't realize until the more I got into it that, like, you know, I'm being a part of something, you know, I'm being a part of this genre. And yeah, it just felt like it had open arms, man. I really enjoyed just allowing it to let me express, and I can never repay it. You know, honestly, it's such a beautiful genre, and it's still growing to this day. You know, as a genre, you know, especially in the Western world over here. You know, it's
Absolutely.
growing in new ways. You know, in new ways. You know, and yeah, that's how it kind of came to be.
Okay, so it was part of a self-discovery for you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It was within you.
yeah, and I talked to my girlfriend about this too. I started to. I feel like now, I feel like my view of music has grown very, especially taking it like in a serious notion, like to really like create an artistic form of it. I realize like that it's a part of me, and you know, I want to express myself, but I don't necessarily call myself a hip hop artist or a rapper necessarily. It was something that like I respected it and let me like express myself. You know, I've actually lately I've been starting to, you know, explore more into like live instrumentation and more jazz influences and more like blues influences, and I honestly want to adapt more Carnatic essences to my music.
Wow.
It's just I don't want to add that until I have someone of that influence I can really, you know, like put that into light for me and really put that in perspective. So it's a difficult, it's not difficult, but it's kind of a different process when you want to mix genres, because you need to really know like how to do that. That's a process itself.
Absolutely. And I think once you do that with say hip hop and Carnatic, right? That marriage, you know, that would truly justify your name too, right? Sanity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Right. And I'm trying to let it breathe, you know, because honestly, it's a journey. It's a journey, you know, and I'm very thankful to have those influences, especially from my mom. My mom is literally the reason I have any Carnatic influence, you know, because and she's Ravi's, you know, sister. So I didn't realize this, you know, power that Ravi had. And my mom was such a beautiful singer, and she taught me the ragas, and I'm not the best, but you know, she just influenced this into me. And it really changed the perspective I look into music. You know, when I was young, I didn't know my roots so well. I knew it, but I didn't know it like that deep until like I grew up. And you know, I'm still learning to this day, but it's just like just seeing that power in it was just, you know, it's amazing.
Interesting, because you know, it was interesting for me too, because I'm honestly, I wasn't into you know, this genre, right?
Yeah.
And I lean a lot towards blues, if you may, right? And
Yeah,
then
blues. My favorite. My girlfriend loves blues. She actually put me into a lot of blues, like Muddy Waters.
wow,
A lot of
BB
great. Yeah,
King,
yeah.
Howling
BB
Wolf,
King.
and
Yeah. Oh, he rips. He's awesome. He's awesome.
yeah. So it was interesting. I mean, when I read up on hip hop, right? It was really interesting to know that hip hop had its roots, like you were mentioning, right? In
Right.
scat singing, in talking blues, of which I was a fan of, but I never approached hip hop, you know, from that angle. I always
Right.
thought, you know, these were like completely incongruent, you know,
Yes.
streams,
Yeah.
right? Now that
Right.
you tell me, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You know, I see, you know, I see sense in, you know, mixing, you know, Carnatic to, you know, hip hop,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool because you have to look into the roots of it and really see like there's so many connections. I mean, even Ravi Shankar is a great example because even just learning about
Absolutely.
his history, he played in Woodstock,
Oh yeah.
such a big US festival, and his daughter is Nora Jones, which is like a completely different genre that you know that he has a daughter that makes such different music, and then Anushka
Yeah.
Shankar is also, you know, but it's like these two worlds, and they created music, and I just saw that, and I was like, wow, you know, we can. There's no rule. There's a rule base when it comes to, you know, creating that generational, you know, legacy of music, but there's no rules when it comes to like what we can do to, you know, expand for the future, you know. So
Absolutely.
it is truly awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and what you said, in fact, you know, is true about Ravi Shankar. I mean, you know, it looked like he quite literally married two worlds, right? And created two worlds, created two worlds. You know, that's a very interesting way of looking at it. Thanks for that review.
And it's hard to, and I didn't know that, you know, I didn't know that until you really look at it and you see it, and it's like, wow, like, you know, like there's that marriage is just it's very possible, you know. It's just it's a journey, you know.
Yeah.